Dear students, a very warm welcome to our new class. Well, today we are doing a new grammar topic, and we also introduce new vocabulary units. So hopefully you follow my instructions, and I'm sure it won't be very difficult for you to grasp the meaning of this topic. Welcome aboard once again. Right? So today we are doing Russian gender, rod, right? Gender, or rod. So there are three genders in Russian, right? Masculine, feminine, and neutral. So masculine, on. This is a personal pronoun which corresponds to English he, right? Feminine, она. This is a personal pronoun which corresponds to English she. And neutral, оно. This is a personal pronoun which corresponds to the English pronoun it. So all Russian nouns, adjectives, and pronouns may be divided into these three groups. One noun is a member only of one group. It can't change gender in Russian, right? So one gender per one noun, right? So a noun, if a noun is masculine, it's always masculine. If a noun is feminine, it's always feminine. So there are three genders. Он is he, она is she, оно is it, right? So let us have a picture of pronouns, right? So here we have a personal pronoun on, the masculine gender. Student, журнал. Well, I ask you to watch the ending letters. Well, student, журнал. The endings are consonants t, l, and these are typical endings of masculine gender. Женский род, она, the feminine gender, женский род, right? Студентка, газета. You see that the personal, the ending of these words is the letter R, and this is also a typical feature of feminine gender nouns in Russian. So please remember this rule, that usually all nouns which end in R, typically they are feminine gender. And the neutral gender, письмо, оно. Here we have this or ending, and it's obvious that or points to neutral gender in Russian, right? So consonants correspond to consonant endings correspond to masculine gender, vowel endings correspond to feminine gender, and or endings correspond to neutral gender. Right, so let us see the basic rules. Well, once again, I want to pay your attention that we give rules and you work with them. You may put them down in your copybooks. You may learn them by heart. So it's not that I'm going to repeat these rules every class. It's something which you accumulate in your notebooks, in your copybooks, revise, repeat, and apply in your practical exercising. So the masculine gender includes hard stem masculine nouns ending in a consonant or zero ending, no ending. For example, such nouns as сын, отец, брат, дом, мост. The masculine gender also includes some of the soft stem nouns ending in soft sign, right? Soft mark, soft sign, мягкий знак. Учитель, словарь, right? You see a soft mark at the ending of a noun, and it may be masculine, not in all cases, but especially, well, in professions, учитель, водитель, a driver. So please remember this case. Well, soft sign, мягкий знак at the end of the word. Right, the feminine gender includes nouns ending in R, hard stem nouns, and nouns ending in ya, soft stem nouns. For example, мама, сестра, тетя, вода, рыба. Remember, студентка. So it's like the case when we have R stem, and we always can understand that this is a feminine gender in Russian. Feminine gender word in Russian. The feminine gender also incorporates some of the soft stem nouns ending in soft mark, soft sign, мягкий знак. For example, тетрадь, площадь, кровать. Right? Тетрадь, площадь, кровать. So you see, not only masculine gender and in a soft mark, but also feminine gender words and in soft mark. And you always have to check the gender of a noun ending in soft mark. The following nouns belong to the neutral gender, nouns ending in or, hard stem, and nouns ending in ye, soft stem. For example, вино, окно, слово, море. Right? So each time when you see or ending, you may realize that this is the case of a neutral sound, neutral noun, neutral gender noun. О, вино, окно, слово, море. Just or ye. Just pay attention to the final letter, right? Ending, окончание, ending, and you may see the gender of the noun. If you see the letter or the letter ye, then this is the case of a neutral gender noun in Russian, right? So let us revise basic rules again. Zero ending or consonant hard stem ending corresponds to masculine gender. Plus soft sign ending, especially soft mark ending, especially professions. Учитель, водитель, телохранитель. So these are masculine gender nouns. Nouns ending in R correspond to feminine gender, and some nouns ending in soft mark also correspond to feminine gender. For example, площадь, right? But студентка, the ending is a, and this is feminine gender in Russian. And sounds ending in o and ye correspond to neutral gender in Russian, средний род, right? Вино, окно, слово, море, right? So we need a final vowel here, and it corresponds to neutral gender nouns. All right, so your task will be just to group these nouns, well, according to three columns, right? Он, она, оно. Let us do it together. So will you please follow my logic, right? And then you may also introduce this logic, follow this logic when you choose the gender of a noun. Отец, ц is always hard, So it's a consonant, so it's on, male gender. Mama, the ending is a, so it corresponds to ana, feminine. Сын, hard stem, n, hard, consonant, no ending, it's male number, on. Дочка, a ending, well, corresponds to она, feminine. Брат, t, hard stem ending, consonant, on, masculine. Сестра, a ending, corresponds to feminine, r. Муж, ж, hard stem ending, consonant, on, masculine gender. Жена, r, ending, corresponds to она, feminine. Тело, o ending corresponds to оно, neutral gender, оно, тело. Рука, a ending corresponds to она, feminine gender, рука. Нога, a ending corresponds to feminine gender, она, нога, feminine. Голова, a ending corresponds to голова, r, corresponds to feminine gender, right? So probably it's not very hard already for you. Лицо, o ending corresponds to оно, neutral gender, right? Оно, лицо. Нос, s, hard ending corresponds to on, right? Well, clear and not very hard. Лоб, we write b, but in final position Russian voiced consonants become voiceless, right? So лоб, but we write лоб, but we say лоб. Лоб, hard stem ending corresponds to on, masculine. Then ухо, o ending corresponds to оно, neutral gender. O. Нос, s, hard stem ending s corresponds to on, masculine gender, right? Then glass, z becomes s in final position, becomes voiceless. That's why we say glass, glass. S corresponds to is hard stem ending corresponds to on, masculine gender, on. Then рот, also t, hard stem ending, is on, masculine. Zub, b consonant, corresponds to on, masculine. Город, d, t, hard stem ending corresponds to on, masculine. Улица, a corresponds to она, feminine gender. So you see the majority of Russian nouns are masculine gender or female gender. Neutral gender is not so big, and so it comprises nouns ending in o and ye, right? So I think it won't be hard for you to finish this exercise independently. Well, in your free time, please practice this grouping activity. It will allow you to see the gender and repeat this logic. Don't forget to find the meaning of these words, right? So then, personal pronouns, we have singular personal pronouns and plural personal pronouns. Well, singular, yeah, that's I, me. And мы, plural, мы. Can you guess the meaning of this pronoun? Мы, it's we in English, right? So я, мы. Ты, you, ты, singular, ты, corresponds to two variations of we, вы. So вы in Russian may be both, may correspond to people in a group, right? We, you are many, and I say вы студенты, right? And вы is also a very polite way to address people who are senior. This is вы. You may address a person who is older, or your boss, or your teacher, or simply an unknown person. This is the rule to address unknown persons in Russian with вы pronoun. So you may address like, well, in English it's you addressing a group, and you addressing senior people and even your peers. In Russian, вы corresponds to English you. Вы. Don't forget to press this sound, right? As if you are pressing e, but you say with an effort. As if you just make your throat stiff and say it like вы. All right, so our next singular pronoun is on, corresponds to English he. You know this case, you know this practice. Она corresponds to English she, right? Он, она. Они corresponds to English they, right? Они. Я, мы, ты, вы, он, она, они. Well, let us take more vocabulary today. While some of the words may be the same, may come from our previous exercises, but some may be new to you, but it's time to learn new vocabulary. Organize your vocabulary in semantic groups, in semantic maps. So let us revise today's vocabulary and previous classes' vocabulary. Бабушка, банк, борщ, вещь, врач, дача, дочь, друг. Don't forget that we write a voice consonant at the end of a word, but it becomes voiceless when we pronounce it. Друг, ее. Журнал. Извините. Карандаш. Книга. Молоко. Музей. Не, a negative particle corresponds to English not. Нет. Don't forget that in Russian it's possible to use both не and нет in one sentence. Double negation не, нет is possible in Russian. Нет. Ничего страшного. Ночь. You see marks of gender. feminine. It ends in a soft sign, in a soft mark, but it's feminine. Ночь, ночь, ночь. Отлично, отлично, отлично. Отчество, отчество, отчество. Плащ, плащ, плащ. Помощь, помощь, помощь. Again, a soft mark at the end of a word, and the letter F points the feminine gender of this, points out the feminine gender of this noun. Помощь, помощь. Простите, простите, простите. Right? Ручка, ручка are ending feminine gender, right? Stol, stol, l, a consonant corresponds to the first gender, masculine gender, right? Stol, stol, on. Stool, stool, also l, masculine gender, on stool. Учебник, 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 right? K hard stem ending, consonant ending correspond to masculine gender. K, учебник. Чай, y. Don't forget that in Russian y is a consonant, so чай corresponds to a masculine gender, on. Чай, час. Hours, часы, well, these are plural, this is a plural noun in Russian, часы, часы, часы. Чашка, чашка, R, corresponds to feminine gender ending R. Чашка. Человек, человек, человек. K ending, consonant hard stem ending, so corresponds to a masculine gender. On, человек. Чемодан, n hard stem ending corresponds to a masculine gender. Чемодан, чемодан. Черный, черный. Well, this is an adjective. Черный. Школа, well, this is a masculine this is, sorry, a feminine gender R noun, well, corresponds to она, школа. Это, this is, when you point at an object, you say in Russian, это стул, это стол, это бабушка, это дедушка. Это, this is, right? So это, is under stress, it preserves its full quality. O is unstressed, it loses its quality, right? Это. All right, and я, well, again, just it's me, я. Don't forget other personal pronouns like он, она, right? Okay, so I believe that, well, today class is very useful because you learn a lot of vocabulary. Well, again, don't forget to use your cards, word cards. Well, you make them themselves. So on one side of a card, you write a Russian word, for example, bank, right? Bank. And on the other side of the card, you write, well, English translation or Urdu translation, and, well, which is bank, right? So like this, bank. I put bank word here, and you watch at the Russian word, and try to, you watch at the Russian side of the card, and you try to remember, to analyze, to remember the word. Then you switch the sides of the card and you check yourself. You check translation, you check maybe transcription. I like this method of learning new words because, well, I may do it anywhere in public transport, standing in a queue, in a line, waiting for something, even in a supermarket, right? So I rearrange cards, I take them out and watch foreign words and try to memorize their pronunciation. Then more and more words appear in our videos, and in order not to lose these words, I recommend to write vocabulary lists in your copybooks, or maybe even build mind maps. So you may, for example, you may organize in one group, in one mind map, words like дочь, жена, сын, брат. Why is it one group? Because they correspond, they belong to one semantic group, the group of a family, right? So while arranging such semantic maps, such mind maps, in your copybooks, or probably you are doing mind maps online. Well, I like online mind maps because you may use screenshots of these mind maps everywhere on your telephone again, and you may revise these mind maps in public transports, waiting for something in your day-to-day activities, waiting on for an order in a cafe or somewhere, in a canteen, in a dining hall. So I use each free moment in my life to learn a foreign language which I try to learn. So I build mind maps and I organize vocabulary units in such mind maps. Well, you may also put in a family group the word друг, for example, friend, right? So very often our друг, our friend, is like a family member. So my idea is that you arrange these vocabulary units either in a vocabulary sets in your copybooks or in mind maps in your copybooks, in your papers, or maybe on your PC using special electronic tools to organize words into mind maps groups. Well, again, I ask you to watch and rewatch videos, not only today video, but maybe you need to revise reading rules, you need to revise alphabets, you need to revise certain words. In Russia, we watch and rewatch every video several times a day, and we come back to previous videos in our free time. It's not only we are watching not only today's video but also previous videos, sometimes even starting with the first one, because lesson one, well, you are not very familiar, you are not used to a new language. But later on, week 2 and week 3, when you rewatch video 1 or video 2, your first week videos, well, they may seem clearer to you. They may seem simpler to you. Don't be lazy to rewatch week 1, week 2, first videos. Well, because repetition practice makes perfect. This is not only English proverb, this is also a Russian proverb. So in our first week we practice some Russian sayings with the word борщ, for example, beetroot soup. Борщ и щи хороши для русской души, right? So you may also arrange the word борщ from our today's vocabulary with previous vocabulary classes with the word щи, for example, and these are two names of Russian soups, борщ, щи, right? Don't forget to practice such structures as у меня есть банк, у меня есть вещь, у меня есть дача. Well, dacha is a Russian garden, a very big Russian garden. A lot of people keep such gardens and they call them dacha. У меня есть дача и друг. у меня есть дочь и сын. У меня тоже, well, don't forget the Russian word тоже, too, right? У меня тоже есть молоко и чай, right? So the more arrangement of such words, you arrange them, not we. When you arrange words, well, you are learning them. You see semantic ties, semantic correlations among them. So you arrange such words and you learn them. You make cards and you learn the words. You build word nets, you build mind maps, and you learn the words, right? Thank you very much. See you next time. До свидания, молодцы, до свидания, молодцы.